Welcome to Rethinking Citizens and Democracy with Tendai Murisa and Belinda Chaura. Tendai Murisa, welcome.
Thank you so much, Belinda.
Now, Tendai Murisa, you've written a book, Rethinking Citizens and Democracy. Talk to us about that book. Why citizens? Why democracy?
Why not now? You Zimbabweans are going into elections in 2023. But I must start from the beginning to clarify that the term citizens here has got nothing to do with the political formation that also has used the tag citizens. But the book, I think, is very important, even beyond elections. It's really about rethinking the concept of what it means to be a citizen in a country and what it means, what we're talking about when we say democracy. And it's responding to maybe the dominant framing around democracy as associated only with elections.
Yeah. So you define citizenship in the book, and to kind of demystify what other people are now terming it. What do you define citizenship as?
Well, citizenship is an old concept coming as a new frame of thinking after feudalism, where we had subjects of kings or peasants, etc. Citizenship talking about equality, that we are all equal in a republic, that we are all responsible for the fate of our country or our territory. We all have a role. So there's equality of opportunity, whether you want to be in politics or the arts, whatever. You are no longer consigned to a certain role in a society like we had during feudalism.
Mm-hmm. You talk about the rights and responsibilities of citizens in your book. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I think citizenship comes with obligations. Many times we talk about the freedoms or what citizens are entitled to, but we forget the obligations to do with citizenship. Citizenship is actually a call to duty to say all of us in a public space or in a country, we have a public solving role, and we have to be engaged either in what you may call co-production with official organs of government or co-creation with other citizens. So in the book, I talk about citizens working with each other and citizens working with government, or citizens working in solidarity across with other organized platforms. So for us, the entry point being what citizens do in a democracy.
Okay. Now, you've talked about what citizens do in a democracy. How do you define democracy in your book?
Yeah, I think this is again also a misconceived notion. I think we've narrowly framed it over the years. For some of us in Africa, democracy is as young as 30 years, 25 years, because we have moved either out of colonialism, apartheid, or military regimes. So, but the solution we imported was based on what you may call multi-party democracy. That's what we called it. And the multi-party aspect was to say we don't need just to be ruled by one entity, and we need to have a framework of changing rulers. So that framework is elections. But we have reduced democracy just to be about that part. So I argue in the book from the beginning that elections are a necessary but not sufficient condition for democracy. And we need to be thinking about what happens in between elections. Because the challenge we have with the framing around elections, citizens then that they think that their responsibility is to vote, fold their hands, and expect whomsoever they voted into to create solutions for them.
Yeah. And then this book took you a while to write. Why is that?
Well, we're experimenting with new ideas. We're looking at phenomena as just like others. Many other scholars are looking at things that I looked at. I looked at trade unionism. I looked at hashtag movements. I looked at solidarity in the rural areas. But I'm trying to put a new lens onto it to say, what are we learning and how does this connect with democracy? And some of these things were moving things. I remember when we were studying hashtag movements, 2015, 2016, culminating with the arrest of Pastor Ivan Mawarire, and beginning to see a decline again in terms of that sort of those levels of mobilization. So it's just been a moving target to say, you pause to think, you let it simmer as an idea until you are confident. I think there was a time when we thought we were ready to publish. Then COVID-19 happened. It challenged us to also begin to say, how do citizens respond in a crisis moment? For this book maybe it fits into what others have called prac academics. I'm not a pure academic. I'm also in the development space. So some of the things that we reflect on about citizens doing with each other are things that we're at the center of like the response to COVID-19 through the Solidarity Trust, and also the response to COVID-19 through feeding vulnerable communities, etc. These were initiatives that we were actually a part of, seeing ourselves as citizens doing that kind of work, but also learning how citizens actually cooperate with each other from the center. So we are engaged researchers doing the work. So our reflection also takes time, because the danger is always to maybe to add value or to sort of romanticize the idea of citizenship. But once you are in it, you also are alert to the challenges of citizenship itself, to say, if over-romanticized, we may actually begin to kill other sides of creative public problem solving.
Thank you, Tindani.
Thank you so much for having me again.